Hey there, my friend. This is Dr. Anthony Balduzzi, and I want to welcome you back to another episode here on the Fit Father Project podcast. Today, we're joined by one of our Fit Father brothers, Todd Trader, who is a special member because he's actually been around the Fit Father Project for over 4 years. In fact, Todd was scrolling through Facebook back in 2018 around Thanksgiving, and he stumbled upon one of our ads that was sharing my personal story of losing my dad and all the cool stuff we were doing with Fit Father Project. And it really struck a chord with Todd because he actually lost his dad when Todd was 6. His dad was only 38 and he had a massive heart attack. So the parallels in our life were very striking for Todd. And he's like, this must be a sign and I want to sign up for this thing. And 4 years later, he's still getting after it. He's maintained the 50 pounds that he's lost in this program. The shifts he's made to his mindset, to his energy, the way he shows up for his family is just phenomenal. And that's not to say this has been a journey that's been perfectly smooth for Todd. That's the idea behind the Fit Father Project, is this is a system that helps you overcome the challenges in your life and move through the ebbs and the twists and the turns. And that's exactly what Todd is here. He's here 4 years later to share his perspectives, his wisdom, on what it was like getting started, what it's like continuing these kinds of things, the important aspects of the brotherhood. And as you'll see, Todd is an athlete. He's a golfer and he actually runs a golf company himself, and how actually channeling his inner competitive fire, his athletic competition drive has been a huge factor in him being so successful. So I think you're going to find a lot of value in this conversation, just even through the fact that there are guys here in this brotherhood who were here even before we had the 4th phase of FF30X. Todd was working through phase 1, 2, and 3, and then we released 4. So he's been here for a while and he's still putting in the work. So no matter where you're at with your journey, if you're 30 days in, if you're 1 year in, 2 years in, keep walking this path because the benefits just continue to accrue. And you begin to rewire your psychology in a deeper way to really embed this stuff into your life. You become more resilient. And of course, health is the foundation of all the things we love. So on that note, let's get into today's powerful conversation with Fit Father Todd Trader. All right, Todd, welcome officially to the Fit Father Project podcast, my friend. I'm so happy you're here.
Honored to be here, Dr. A.
You look great, by the way. I love the FFP sweatshirt for those who are watching and not listening to the audio. And I would love for you to introduce yourself to all the guys who are listening. Name, age, where you're from, and what you do for work, and anything you'd like to share about your family.
Sure, absolutely. Todd Trader. I am 48. Live suburbs of Chicago in a town called Oswego, Illinois. I have a wife, 22 years now. We were high school sweethearts, so making it the long way here. And then I have a daughter who's 16, which is great because now she can drive and take herself to all the practices. And then my son, who is 13, and he's pretty much in every sport, so I'm still driving him around, but at least I have my daughter to help out with that now. For work, I own a company called Golf Invite. We're a golf event planning company. So we run golf outings and provide products and services to golf outings like hole-in-one packages, logo merchandise, signage, things like that. So been doing that for 18 years. Been in the golf business my whole life.
That's awesome. And I want to ask, just because you do run a company, like you were a golfer growing up, like how'd you get into that? And what's it been like running your company over the last few years?
Yeah. So I got into the golf industry when I was a kid. So I was 13 years old. And started working at a golf course and as a cart boy, cart attendant, caddying, and just worked my way up through the ranks of the golf business. Moved into the pro shop, started running golf events, started booking golf events. When I finished college, I went to work for the golf management company that was running the course that I worked at, and got into golf outing sales. Oversaw the Chicago market, which at the time had 8 golf courses, and did the golf outing sales for all 8 courses, had a team under me, so got to manage a team, and it was just a great experience. Did that for 8 years, and then like everything, things change and evolve, and decided to go into business for myself. Joined up with my college roommate, actually, who played college golf.
Cool.
And we created a Golf Invite for golf outings. So here we are 18 years later, still kicking it.
Congrats on that. That's so cool. And I'm sure there's some guys listening who play golf who will want to check out Golf Invite and all the cool stuff you're doing there. All right,
Absolutely.
so let's talk about how Fit Father collides with all this. I have the benefit of getting to know a little bit of your backstory before you come on, and I know there was not too long ago, well, maybe 3 years ago, when you were scrolling through Facebook around Thanksgiving time. We're recording this around Thanksgiving time in 2022, and you saw an ad. But take us back. Why has health been important to you? Why has this idea of Fit Father been important to you? Some of the stuff with your family, and then we'll kind of get into you starting this program.
Yeah, sure. So, it was 4 years ago, actually, next week, right before Thanksgiving. So 2018, I was just sitting there, doing nothing, on my chair, scrolling through Facebook. And, at the time, just wasn't happy with, the way I felt and who I was at the time. And, saw the Fit Father Project ads pop up and clicked on it. And once I saw your introduction and your story, it immediately stuck, because you lost your father at a young age, and so did I. I lost my dad was 38. He died of a massive heart attack. I was 6 years old.
Damn.
So the stories being so similar, it was just automatic, right?
Yeah.
That this is destined for me. I got to check this out. Went through the steps of signing up for, at the time, it was a 30-day trial, I think. And the rest is history. After that, I was hooked.
That's just amazing. I think it's incredible, for all the crap that social media gets, and probably rightfully so, that good things like that can happen where you see an ad and we are able to come together with such similar stories. It's amazing that we must have had very similar childhoods in terms of what it was like having this gap of not having a dad, needing to fill that and grow. And we're both running companies, so maybe that gives you some drivers and fire or something like that,
Right.
so that's something to be said there. All right. So you start this program. Had you tried other fitness things in the past, and what was different about kind of starting FFP in the early phases?
Yeah. So, really, I hadn't gone through many. I'm an athletic guy. I love playing sports. I've played sports my whole life. But I've never really gone through anything formal from a training standpoint, or a diet standpoint. So I'm glad this was the first thing I found, and I don't have to find anything else. But it was the way everything was outlined, right? It was so easy to follow. You had the videos, the emails, everything was there. And you just had to follow it, right? You just had to educate yourself on the process. That does take some time. You have to take the time to learn how to do this right. But it's all there in front of you and laid out. And that's what I really like about it is, all the steps are there. You just have to follow them and follow through.
And what were the biggest improvements you made to your life? Your life before, when you were kind of feeling just I can't believe I'm here. I feel like crap. I'm out of shape. And then you start the FFP lifestyle. What were big improvements? Was it nutrition? Was it starting to do certain kinds of exercises? Was it a mindset thing? What were some of the biggest aha moments early on, or biggest shifts you made? And then kind of the results you started to see from there?
Yeah. So all of the above, right? But, starting with basic changes like the water, started just drinking water. Like you say, you wake up, drink 32 ounces, continue to drink through the day. So through doing that also, stop drinking soda. I wasn't huge, but, I'd have one or two a day. So I cut that out, which it's amazing if you just cut that out, how much that does for you. And then, I had coffee every morning. I'd have 2 cups of coffee every morning, but I put equals in it. Stop putting equals, just drinking black coffee. So real basic changes from that standpoint of just what I'm drinking. Then you move to eating, and making those changes. And again, never following a diet before, never knowing really how to eat right. This was all an educational process of the perfect plate. And eating more, the vegetables and the vegetables being 50% part of your plate, which, if I even did have vegetables, it was maybe 10% part of it. And I'm still not a huge vegetable fan, but we make it work. So very basic changes there. And then, getting into the workout program, I jumped into that right away. And like I said, being, an athlete and in the past, or loving sports, working out, I like that part of it. And I didn't have an issue with that. The workouts kicked my butt, obviously, at the beginning, and it was a whole new thing. But, I'd gone to a gym before, and realistically, I just wasn't comfortable because I didn't know what I was doing in the gym. You just go there, and if you don't know or have a plan in place, then it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to go there. But this gives you the plan and what you need to do and how you need to do it. And that was a key.
Nice. What were some of the earliest like non-scale victories or even scale victories you had in like the first 30, 60, 90 days? Like some big shifts or big results where you're like, man, this is actually something, because you start something and you start to invest energy and then the results start to compound. What were some of the first like big wins, watershed moments, this kind of stuff?
Yeah, I think, just the recognition of others, seeing that what you're doing is working. Hey, you look great. What are you doing? Those were great non-scale victories. And then your clothes, I went from wearing a double XL to down to an XL, and now I wear large, from
Nice.
a 38 to a 36 down to a 34. So all of that were big factors for me. And then I'm fortunate enough that I have a workout partner, one of my good friends, and that's also helped, obviously, from an accountability standpoint, having that workout partner and meeting him at the gym and not letting him down. But I started being able to outlift him, where when we worked out in the past, he would be able to lift more than me, and then me being able to surpass him by doing the Fit Father Project. That was definitely an NSV as well for me.
That's nice. A little good friendly competition, especially when you have a good training plan, you're seeing good results. And what you just shared was powerful. You had a workout buddy. I don't think all guys following this program have those. There's a lot of guys just slaying away at home in the garage, solo. So I want to ask you, what are some other like personal applications or secrets or things that you found were uniquely impactful with how you follow this program? Because there's a lot of guys that follow this in different ways. It's structure, but it's to fit your life. So what are some of the biggest things that are working for you? Whether it's what you do in nutrition, sleep, the fact you have an accountability partner, or just how you pick yourself back up if times get tough. I'd love to hear some of your personal insights on how you apply this to your life successfully.
Yeah, absolutely. So in the beginning, I think it's just the fact of like everything you lay out, following that schedule, getting up in the morning, getting your workout done. I was a big morning workout guy. So I would work out in the morning, get that done, have my shake every morning, then go to work and drink my water, my black coffee, have lunch, have a good lunch, salad, chicken, that type of thing. Go home, have a good dinner. That type of, so keeping in that routine was key. In going with it. And then following the Facebook, and learning from the guys on the Facebook group. So, since I go back 4 years, I had some of the OGs like Dean and Shane and Dustin.
Yeah.
And if you listen to one of Dustin's podcasts, he mentions my name because, and he calls me a lurker, right? Because I don't contribute that much on Facebook, right? Like I'll like things, maybe comment here and there. But really, I just absorb everything and see what's going on, and did that in the beginning, and definitely had a lot of questions. And obviously your staff was there to answer all my questions. But seeing those guys before me who already went through it and had successes, and to get their advice, and, Dustin and I started at the same time. So we kind of had a little friendly competition going. Yeah. Even though neither one of us admitted to that, if I saw he got to an NSV or a certain weight, that was my push, and I think same for him. So, so that was really a key to it as well. Just the structure and the accountability, and having that Facebook group as well.
For sure. And I want to tease out something that's kind of come as a theme of our conversation so far. It's like you being an athlete. There is some good threads of friendly competition in here that kind of brings out the best in you. And like, that's what sports is, right? We try to show up, sharpen one another, compete, become more excellent. And it seems like this is kind of like pulled on some of those triggers in either in the Facebook group or with your local friends and your lifting partners. Like as a former athlete, how do you think like that mentality becomes either reawoken or is beneficial as you go through a program like this?
Yeah. I mean, so like any athlete or anytime you're doing sports, my goal is to win, right? And being older, obviously, golf is my outlet for competition in sports, but I always want to beat that person who I'm golfing with, or take their money, or whatever it might be when I'm out on the golf course. And I still play, softball pretty competitively,
Nice.
and that scratches my itch for competition at the age of 48.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think that's a huge factor in motivation, is not only competing, with other people, but competing with yourself. Like, I can do better, and setting those goals to achieve,
Yeah.
and getting to those goals, and then setting new ones.
I have a question for you, and it seems very apparent to me. How did your happiness level change? Like, your self-rated happiness level changed throughout this journey, from like scratch to, maybe within 6 months, 1 year, and where you're at now. We got a couple nice time frames because you're now 4 years into this, but I want to hear about happiness changed as your body changed and you walked this path.
Yeah, I mean, you feel so much better about yourself and confident, right? And with that, I felt like I was more willing to put myself in different situations and try new things, right? Because when you're confident in yourself, you're more willing to go out there and put yourself out there and try new things. And that was huge for me. So it came on pretty quickly for me. So, I started in November of 18, and by March of 19, I had already lost a good amount of weight, probably, close to 40 pounds by then,
Mm-hmm.
and felt great, and all the compliments. And so, of course, all that's going to make you happier in life. But with that, also had more energy, just getting up in the morning and knowing what your plan is for the day for yourself,
Yeah.
to make yourself better, is huge.
Right.
And, knowing that, okay, I'm going to get up, I'm going to get my workout in, and then you automatically feel great about yourself after that.
Mm-hmm.
The rest of the day is, you're setting yourself up for success then.
Right. It's like we have energy in our minds and our bodies, but when we have a clear ability to focus that energy like a laser, it just feels good because you're getting work done. And I think that's the big thing, is when guys come from this world of having no structure or like bad structure to like productive, healthy structure, it's a scaffolding that you can build so much on. So I want to ask you, now that you're a couple of years into this, how much has this physical journey turned into like an alignment journey of yourself, mind, body, spirit? Like, and have your goals changed now that you're kind of like walking the path a little bit deeper, and it's like, yeah, you've got the weight off and you're kind of maintaining, but also setting new targets. Like, let's talk about the mindset now as a real vet and a guy who's been around here for a while.
Yeah, I mean, so this has just become a part of my daily life, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I've been maintaining the weight, and but when I miss a workout or I eat badly one day, it's great to know that you have the next day to reset, right?
Mm-hmm.
You just start over, work out. So work out, eat well. And just as recently as really this past summer, my weight went up. I get very busy during the summer being golf season.
Right.
And I wasn't making the time for myself. I was putting it into work.
Mm-hmm.
And weight crept up a little bit. I probably gained about 15 pounds. But the best part was I then just zeroed in on the plan and got back to it and took that weight off and got right back to my all-time low,
Mm-hmm.
which was 195.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where I currently am today.
Nice.
So there's always those goals, I guess. To use an analogy with the game of golf,
Mm-hmm.
the body, like the game of golf, there's always room for improvement.
Mm-hmm.
And there's always something that you can do to improve your body, your weight loss, and same with golf. There's no golfer in the world that is happy with where they are golf-wise. They always want to get better.
Yeah.
And it's no different with what we do, with Fit Father.
Yeah. And the reflection and the tools to tighten it up. Like, insofar as like in golf, you have clubs that are tools for specific situations and challenges. Like, I don't know, this program kind of serves like that for you as well, that you have the ability to glide back on track and refocus wherever you need to. Like, I think that's awesome. I'd love to hear about your family. I'd love to hear about what it's been like for your family to see you walk this journey. You have 2 teenagers at home, and they're seeing dad get after it. And I'm sure they're both athletes, so they're used to doing some exercise too. What's it been like to see that? What's it been like for your wife to observe you? And how's your relationship to them changed, and maybe relationship to the idea of being a fit father changed through this journey?
Yeah, I think it's just setting that example for them, right? Them being involved in sports, and my wife was a Division I soccer player as well, so she's an athlete as well. So I think for them, seeing me, get up at 5 a.m. every day to work out, and changing those eating habits, it's just setting them up for the future too. They're young, so it's not like right now they're not ready to sit here and work out at 5 a.m. And eat all these vegetables and things like that with me. But I think it's an example of what they can do in the future, if they choose. And they know that why I did this is for them. When my dad passed away when I was 6 years old, I grew up without a dad, and I do not want that for my kids. I want them to have their dad as long as possible. And my uncle just passed away this past summer. He made it to 100.
Wow.
And I told my kids, I said, that's my goal, guys. I'm going to be around a long time. That's my goal is to make it, that far. And they said, Dad, we think you can, with what you're doing, we think you can do it. So, but yeah, it's just been great to be able to do and participate with them. And my son's gotten down there and he's done some Apex 10s with me as well. And I think, the older he gets, the more he's going to do that, want to do that. He's really just getting into, the weight, all his friends are getting into weightlifting and that type of thing. So I think the older he gets, the more he might listen to Dad about that type of thing and know that Dad actually might know what he's talking about from a fitness standpoint now, where before this, obviously I didn't. So
that's cool. I mean, what a privilege now to be at this point now, as your 13-year-old son is starting to pump some iron, to be able to enjoy the next 5-10 years with him, especially while he's still home till 18 or whatever. And you get to enjoy some good workouts with him and have another ability to bond through this physical dimension, because that's a part of you now. I think that's awesome. I'm really happy for you on that front. Now, I want to ask you a little bit about, I guess, the nutrition side of things. This has obviously been sustainable for you in the sense that you're still doing it, and you're a guy who doesn't love your vegetables necessarily, but you still eat them. So how do you make it work? What kind of veggies do you make that you kind of like? Are you broccoli, asparagus? You're doing a little side salad, and because we can grumble about the veggies, and I think it's a lot of guys can relate to that. At the same time, you are getting it in a way that works for you. So how do you make it work for you and stay consistent?
Yeah, green beans is kind of my go-to. They're easy. I don't mind the taste of them, that type of thing. But it's just the overall. It's not necessarily the veggies, that's part of it, but it's just the overall plan of the portions, better portions. Having that staple with the shake in the morning, and I have eaten more salads now this last 4 years than I did my whole life, right? Salads with chicken. And you just adapt to that, and that just becomes your norm. And you look forward to that, especially after a day of fasting, definitely look forward to it. So
for sure.
And that's been another big part of what I, fasting's been a big part of what I do, 1 day a week for 24 hours. And then I've gotten into the intermittent fasting now, really in this past year. And that's the beautiful part, is just trying different things. There's always different things that you guys are rolling out, and trying all those different things, whether it be, all right, I completed all 3 phases. Now you guys come out with phase 4. This is great.
Yeah.
And so you get into phase 4, and now I've been saying to myself for the last year, you know what, I'm getting older, and what I really need to do is yoga. Right. So what happens, last month, you guys come out with a partnership with Manflow Yoga. So I sign up for that, and now I'm doing yoga, at least 3 or 4 times a week. Nice. And incorporating that. So it's constantly being able to, you don't get bored with it because
Yeah.
there's always something new, and you guys are coming up with something new or partnering with somebody new, and it just 4 years I haven't got bored. So by now I can go back to phase one and it'll be all new to me.
Yeah, and that's really cool too. Like, this is like a progressive journey. You can always cycle back to things as well because you're a different guy now than when you did Apex 10 the first time. So the program's going to be different. I want to ask you, have you gone to the doctor at all? Had any like health changes or improvements? Like any good news on that front? Like what's been going on that the checkup front?
Yeah. So obviously having a dad that passed away of a massive heart attack, I've been on cholesterol medicine since I got out of college. And the doctors keep a very close eye on me, and I go, for yearly checkups and blood work. And, prior to this, my cholesterol levels have always been high, even with the medication. And, immediately after getting on the program and starting this, the first time I went back to first of all, the first time I went back to the doctor and I went in there, 40 pounds lighter, they didn't even recognize me at first. And they're like, what have you been doing? So I just sat there with my doctor and explained to him what the Fit Father Project is. And he's taking notes and things like that. So hopefully he's passing that along to everybody. But, it was the first time in my life I'm like, I'm excited to take this blood test and see where my results come. And sure enough, it was the first time where my numbers were all in line, my cholesterol levels were in line, and they've continued to be, to this point. So
congratulations. I mean, talk about longevity, right? Especially with your family history. That's a beautiful thing. Healthy externally and internally. Beautiful. Yeah. Really good. All right. Well, talk a little bit about some of your friends in the brotherhood aspect of this. Like, I know you mentioned it a few times that, being a lurker and being involved. Are there any guys that, are still friends for you to this day, or that you keep in touch with, or that you've kind of picked up as guys that you want a part of your life as a part of this brotherhood?
Yeah, I mean, so, Dustin is one of the gentlemen that I mentioned that we actually have talked outside of, the Facebook group and things like that. And we have similarities from a standpoint of being, in the golf business and what he does and can bring to the golf business with his company. So a lot of similarities there. I think, as my goals going forward is, you're doing the retreats. I've talked to you guys about doing a Fit Father golf outing.
This might be the on-air thing. It's like, if there's interest, hit us up, guys, because that could be really fun to get together. Yeah. You help us organize something and have a big golf outing. That'd be amazing.
Yeah. So, I think that would be an awesome way for us to all get together and meet each other and, be face to face and share our stories face to face. So yeah, I mean, that's my goal in the future, is to get more involved, with the brotherhood more personally and hopefully in person as well.
Sounds like on the golf course could be a win-win for everyone. I like that. I like that idea a lot. So I want to ask you then, in closing questions, like, to you today, what does it mean to be a fit father?
Yeah, I think so. That's a great question, because at first, when you start the program, I would say people would ask me, well, what are you doing? And you're just kind of, you just kind of say, well, I'm doing this thing online. It's for dads over 40, and now 4 years later, you wear it proud, right? It's like, yeah, I'm part of the Fit Father Project, and you tell the story and you have that success, and you're proud of it. And you share that with everybody. So, so it's, I'm proud to wear the sweatshirt. I guess I compare it to, being in Chicago, I'm a Chicago Bears season ticket holder. When I go to a Bears game, I wear my Bears gear, right? You do a podcast with Dr. A, you wear your Fit Father gear, Yeah. So you wear it around and you wear it proud. And, because, but the best part about this is you're a part of it, right? You're not just a fan, you're a part of it. And that's huge. And hopefully when I talk about it, people are checking it out and joining. I know a bunch of my friends have gone through the process. Some of them stuck, some of them haven't. But I'll continue to be the biggest fan and spread that word for sure.
Nice. Well, Todd, it's been a pleasure having you on today. You look fantastic. I want to say God bless you and your family. And I'm really also thinking about this golf outing. I'm probably going to ping you separately. We'll make sure we get something together on the books for the guys. And I'm just really happy that you found this program. I think it's important for men to hear stories of guys like you who've been here for a long time. I mean, before we even had phase 4, right? We're rolling out phases as you're getting healthy. So it's so cool that you're still here, kicking butt. And this has become so integrated into your life. And I think you're a standing living example that it's possible to make a sustainable change and make this a part of who you are. So thanks, Todd. I appreciate you so much. I appreciate you coming on today.
Absolutely. I look forward to the future, and I'll be in Arizona next month with the family, so we can talk about the golf outing.
That'd be perfect. Awesome, Todd.
I look forward to it. Thanks so much, Dr. A. Appreciate everything you and your staff do for us.
Thanks, Todd.